When you just had a great SummerSlam, what you want is a fantastic Superstars of wrestling to really celebrate that. But the WWF didn't do that. They didn't do that after SummerSlam 1991, which has got the match made in heaven and the match made in hell. What they do is they don't give you much on this Superstars from the 7th of September 91. They don't give you much of the good stuff. You do see the end of the fantastic, and actually I've watched SummerSlam and commented on it recently on podcast, and I remember at the time loving it when I watched it at that time, and I'm still trying to kill this tash, just had it cut, you see. So I need to train it a bit with the beard wax. Anyway, I remember seeing it thinking it stands up even now, and it's a great epic, great event. But what we've got here, we do see the Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart end of that match and him winning. Not Bret Hart stripping his singlet off to leave him in some tight pants. So, he was a great champion, Mr. Perfect. Don't make him look foolish like that. Anyway, the main thing about this is, I can't believe what happened at the reception. That kind of thing. At the reception, we're going to see this quite a lot. In fact, we're going to hear Mr. McMahon commenting on look, there they are. They're having their first dance. They look so happy together. I'm paraphrasing, but there's a bit where we say they're cutting the cake, and they cut the cake, and not figuratively, literally, the wedding cake, and I think Macho says, "Oh, me first," and I think Mr. McMahon says, "Naturally." What? But anyway, they go to the gifts, and the whole thing is in some kind of small hall. It's not like, this is a wrestling superstar, folks. It's like, we couldn't get the big hall, so we've just got the small hall. It's not really decorated. You've got a party band. There are no streamers, no balloons, nothing like that. You've got Mean Gene as the MC. It's not the best reception in the world. I've been to better ones than that, and I don't know any WWF Superstars or WWE Superstars. So we go to the present opening, and oh my God, there's a snake in there, and there's Jake the Snake and the Undertaker to beat them up. Out comes Sid Justice with a chair. You don't quite know whose side he's on. He's on his own, folks, on his own side, and that's the story. So Macho's not there. This March is not there this week. You've got Hot Rod, but not March, who's away caring for his wife, which is what he should do, according to Roddy. He's quite right. So, it was a tragic wedding reception, apparently, but Sid Justice was there. Now, Sid Justice is your big time, new attendee. What am I looking for? Transfer, new contract. And I guess he's only given a very small amount of time. By the time you get to the Royal Rumble and he does the stuff with Hulk Hogan, gets Hulk Hogan out of there, he'd already been sidelined. This is the problem, isn't it? Because at this time, they got the opportunity to bring in Ric Flair. And they do bring in Ric Flair, and they bring him in with the NWA big gold belt. And they give it to Bobby Heenan, who's in the funeral parlour this week. Oh, Mr. Heenan. And he's, it's a very good segment, actually. But that's where everything went. We got Ric Flair winning the 1992 Royal Rumble, which is a superb Rumble, let me tell you that. Best ever, in my view. And he wins the world title, doesn't he, at that point? So, I mean, he won't be there for long, or not that long at this point, but it sort of sidelines Sid Justice. It's a shame for Sid, isn't it? Bit of a shame. Anyway, let's get on with this rather poor episode of Superstars. You haven't even got dum 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 do 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 dum 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 dum, doing the bass, you see, quite a high bass. You haven't even got that. You got some really nondescript music here, and you got the Texas Tornado versus Bubba Monroe. Who's that? Says Hot Rod. Yep, that's right. It's a squash match, and you've got Tornado taking him down, he gets to the ropes. Does Bubba Monroe? There are some shots from the Texas Tornado, a discus punch, and he gets the pin. Now, there's lots of shots of women who seem to like him, and girls who seem to like him. He wasn't around very much longer, I don't think, in the WWF, was he? He'd already lost the title, of course. Given a very short run with that. Then we get the reception footage. Yeah. And then we're into Skinner, who's got he brings a spit bucket to the ring. He's adding things as he goes. Versus Scott Summers. He gets that slop drop thing for the pin. It's very good, but you might as well not bother. It's not great, and Skinner didn't really take off. It's a shame, really, because I really like him. The British Bulldog's ready. What for, I don't know. I kind of zoned out. Then we get Virgil versus, I don't know. Does it matter? He's got the $1 million belt, of course, and later on, Ted won't be very happy with that, as you might expect. Punches, a backdrop, he dives over the top, well, really jumps over the top. There's a slam, he gets a neck breaker, then he's on the balls of his feet. He's on his balls. Yeah, on his balls. It's very, very uncomfortable. Gets the $1 million dream slapped in and wins. Heenan is then in the funeral parlor. Oh, Mr. Heenan. It's very good, actually. He's got the gold belt, verbally attacks Piper for some reason. Piper leaves the commentary table, and I think McMahon says, like, oh no, here we go. It's something like that's really very good. Then Piper bigs up Hogan. He's our champion. And he does say, I scare Flair. We had that right up to the Royal Rumble. There's that lovely moment where he clears the ring completely. Ooh, bit of a frog in the throat. Does Ric Flair. Stands there triumphantly, waiting for the next attendee, opponent, and it's Piper. And the look on Ric Flair's face is, oh no, it's great. And this is pretty good as well, because he doesn't just spit on the big gold belt. He spits on Heenan as well. That's a bit too much, Mr. Piper, I have to say. Now, the Barbarian's facing Kerry Davis. He doesn't do a lot of the... Hoss! He stopped doing that now. But there's a big boot, a world's strongest slam, ties him up in the ropes, 3 more big boots, throws him over the top, there's a count out, done. But I'll tell you who is here, and I remember him coming down to the ring, and there's a girl in the crowd with a balloon. He's got his cigar, pops the balloon, instant crying from the girl. Why would you not love Big Bully Busick? With Harvey Whippleman, of course. Big Bully Busick is not speaking, of course. It's just Harvey. He wasn't around for long. And I remember reading about him in the magazines and thinking, I wonder if he'll turn up in the W. He is! It's a shame. Remember we had the big tash and the bowler hat. Just great. Didn't stay for long. Looking forward to seeing his matches. And we got the Bushwhackers next with, apparently, Dwayne and Barry. They don't even give him a surname. I mean, really, they might as well just wear T-shirts with Jobber on there, you know. Ooh, a bit of windy pops. The Beverleys have now got the Genius as their manager. That did them a lot of good, didn't it? We got Butch biting the ass of either Barry or Dwayne. I don't know which one it is. And the assistant Gutbuster for the pin. It's rubbish, and really, it's all about them licking people's heads, including people in the crowd and the ref. And all the kind of, they smell like sardines and all that. Yeah! Whoa! They were over. Really over. They will actually have Jameson with them, won't they, soon? They'll have Jameson with them at the Royal Rumble. That didn't last for long, did it? We've got the WWF magazine. On the front of that, of course, is Macho and his bride. Of course. And here's the funeral parlour again. Is he pulling double duty this week? Or was that... No, I think he does a double funeral parlour, because they ain't got much this week. IRS is on there. It works with, oh, Mr. Oakland, oh, Mr. Heenan. It does not work with, oh, Mr. IRS. Don't call him Mr. IRS. Sounds bloody stupid. So, he's after the boss man. You know, he doesn't do a you'll be audited this time thing, but then we got the Warlord versus Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas gives us a big, I'm going to really beat him. No, you're not going to beat him up, are you? He's thrown around. He's subject to a flying shoulder tackle, which looks good, you know. And then he doesn't, I don't know whether Warlord gets him up in a stalling or vertical suplex position. I think he just got him up like that. And usually, if I remember rightly, you're holding onto the trunks or something as well, aren't you? To keep them there. He didn't, and Mark Thomas bends backwards on his shoulder. That can't be very nice. I don't think he really took care of it. I don't know, it could be Mark Thomas's fault. I don't know. Is Mark Thomas a comedian? I've been to see him, I think. Anyway, puts him in the full Nelson, rags him around a bit, gets the win. Valentine wants to fight. Everybody wants to fight this week. And Sherry is very upset at the loss of the $1 million belt. And Mr. DiBiase will do something about that because he's got more money than Tunney. Now, if he'd have got anything, or if the writers had anything about them, they would use that as a slogan. More money than Tunney. But they didn't, did they? I don't think. I'll have to watch next week and see. But I doubt it. And this was a terrible episode. Really lumpen. But you know what? Big Bully Boo sick, folks. Ta-ta.